Thank you for joining us today for this very special session as a part of our Capstone Industry Webinar Series. This session has been organized in particularly for our Capstone students who are basically concentrated in digital media. So this particular session is built around something very practical and very relevant to the work that many of our students are doing right now, is to how a strong creative idea can become a finished campaign film. So we'll be looking at Toyota's accidental icon campaign as a case study, and we are very fortunate to have with us here Gautam Wadher. He is the Chief Creative Officer at Memac Ogilvy UAE. Gautam is an art director by background and has built an impressive a creative career across the region. His work has contributed to campaigns for major brands, which includes Visa, Oreo, Coca-Cola, HSBC, IKEA, Expo 2020, KFC, and many others. His creative work has also been recognized by the leading platforms and award shows, such as Cannes Lions, Dubai Links, Clio's, Effie's, and New York Festival, Communication Arts, and more. For our students, I think people who are working in their final media projects, this is a valuable opportunity to not only listen to, but also interact with Gotham, because we often see the final video, the final campaign, and the polished output, but very rarely we get the chance to understand the process, the idea, the decisions, the collaborations, and the production thinking. But I would like to encourage everybody to ask questions and use this session to connect what you're hearing in the class on how the creative work happens in the industry. Gautam, thank you so much for taking your time with us today. We look forward to really hear from you about the campaign and also understand the whole, because you did a case study as well. So that will be a great insight for all our students. Thank you for joining us. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, firstly, for the introduction and inviting me. It's a real pleasure and an honor, obviously, to speak to the future of, I would say, films, branded content, entertainment, and advertising. So, like you said, I've been in Ogilvy now for about 2.5 years, and I've been in advertising for about 20 years now. And it's a fantastic job because we are solving so many different problems on an everyday basis. And I also feel like Mr. Sabir already told me that all the students are creating their respective projects. So I can only like speak about the project we did and hopefully, answer some of your questions and help in any way I can. Ogilvy as a team, we are relatively a very, very young team. Yeah, so as we all know, we are here for this project, which we as an agency are very proud of. We've got some great response. People loved, the film for many different reasons. And I will get into the approach we have, not just for this project, but most of our projects in general. So let me just play the film first.
Love this video. Absolutely love this video.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations, Mr. Gautam, and to all Memac Ogilvy company. This was the real amazing PR contribution to Toyota company. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. And, I just wanted to talk about our approach to work, but also, we have been through some unprecedented times, like Sabir and everyone was mentioning before. And, when we are working for all these brands and we also have to do resilience campaigns, because the one thing we obviously noticed how the whole country came together, right? I have myself lived in the UAE and in Dubai for about 16 years now, and there were so many emotions behind the country and the city and the people. And then when we were talking to our clients, and we just realized that this billboard on this building existed, for so many years and 45 years to be precise. And we were like, okay, what better story to say and bring everyone together with the same emotions. Just tapping into that time and showing people how that Toyota has been present in this country for so many years and will be present, moving forward as well, and in support to the country and their people and everything. And luckily for us, it turned out like the way it turned out, and we've got really good responses on that. And also, like, when you talk about brand love, we just feel like in today's communication landscape, there is not much done in terms of brand love. So that is something also we try a lot to do. Like, advertising landscape is very busy. We have so many platforms today where you consume advertising, and is so fast paced, right? Like, I mean, we are scrolling on our phones like day in, day out. People barely spend time with advertising, I would say. And we jokingly say in our field that advertising is something people skip now. So how do we engage them? uh, and how do we make sure that they are listening to us? So that's where I think this entertainment piece comes into the picture. That because all three slides are pretty much the same, it's just worded differently. But if you see like why we need to tap into entertainment, because uh, while we say that social media is where most of the time is spent, but also that time is not given to advertising as much. Advertising almost comes as an interruption. So when you're on a Spotify, you want to skip the ad. When you're on Instagram, you're scrolling through the ads. When you're on TikTok, it comes as an interruption. So when we approach advertising as entertainment, what it does is that it makes you stand out, right? It makes you think of spaces and, like, opportunities where there could be stories to be told, right? Like, it's not just about, like, every brand, and we also do that a lot. We are guilty of it. Don't worry about it. I mean, that's our business. But essentially, what all brands are doing today is, this is who we are, this is what we do, please buy us, right? That's in essence like the thread of all communication, whether it's 10 seconds, whether it's 15 seconds. But every now and then we try to take the brands we have, and Alphoten, Toyota, and Ogilvy has had a long standing relationship, and 7 years to be precise. So this also helps us connect with our clients on a long term basis, understand their problems, and give them solutions in different manners. So that's why we thought that, okay, this is a very reliable way to talk about something where we are not selling a car or an automotive brand, but there is an opportunity for us to be recognized, as an emotional and a cultural symbol, in the country. And I think that's what gave us the response we got on this, and we were very, very proud of that, myself and the team, of course. And again, like, I sort of tapped into it a little bit. This is coming from like the storytelling aspect, like, entertainment becomes the platform and the form, like, but storytelling is the heart of everything. Like, if you look at this piece of work, like, I mean, it doesn't really show any cars, it just taps into the Toyota sign, the history of Toyota. And I think that is also very important, that how can we tap into storytelling and find different stories for our brands, correct? And when I say stories, like, you see a lot of, I mean, if we have a big portfolio of brands, and even brands themselves on the corporate side also are doing that, right? Like, I mean, brands are communicating products to consumers, but they are also communicating their ethos, like, like a lot of brands are into sustainability, and they talk about sustainability now from advertising point of view. A lot of brands are into culture, and they tap into culture from a brand perspective. So even brands have learned along the way that they cannot just sell products, they also have to sell their mindset, like, whether it's sustainability, whether it's culture. And this, I would say, definitely like falls under culture. And then to bring it together as a story, as a film, that's our job. And like, that's what we try to do over here. And like, not just tapping into human insight when it comes to like what we are selling, but human insight when it comes to the association of the brand, with like a group of people, or with a country in this case. And last but not the least, of course, like, I mean, yes, we are an advertising agency, but today the industry has moved on from ads to acts, like, because ads are something, like I said, we have to do. We work with this experience, media, PR, and social, like, this all the teams, they come together to give the right ROIs to our client. But when it comes to the core and the stopping power of a piece of work, I think that's where acts come in place. I mean, and you would understand what I mean by acts, because we have a case study, because we also did something as a follow up to celebrate some of the people who lived in the building, whether it's for 3 months or whether it's for 3 years. We kind of found like a few people. We are looking for more, but it was just a gesture from our side, and that's where the act comes in. So, and I think using nostalgia very strategically. And I was talking to a few colleagues in the agency, and then when we did this film, and we are suddenly like, okay, let's find more stories like this, like, and everyone was coming up with their own stories, and it was so fascinating and wonderful to see this, that like there are so many stories in the UAE. While we say that UAE is relatively a new like establishment, a new country, but still like the journey the country has had from where it started, it's unbelievable. And then when you start tapping into those stories, they're so beautiful, right? So again, like, I mean, finding acts and not just approaching every brief as ads is something we try to do, like, whenever we get an opportunity.
I just wanted
Absolutely.
to have one question before I open it for our students. Um, I saw the video first on LinkedIn, okay, and I realized that it is also on YouTube, for example. My question is, uh, again, from the point of view of the client as well, there is a certain push, and you mentioned it also in your in just now, is that the vertical format, and how important for clients to actually, because that's the format that people are consuming. But I saw this video not in a vertical format. I saw it on YouTube and on LinkedIn, for example. And I'm sure like most of the people who are watching this video would be in that particular format. So was that a conscious choice to not go for a vertical format and go for a traditional format in terms of the aspect ratio and in terms of the platform that this video will live?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I think this is a conversation, which we have day in, day out, and it's a very fair question. I completely understand where attention spans are today, and brands are quite aware and worried about that. While we as an agency try to push for good stories, there are also certain realities, of reach, of consumption. But for this particular piece, we were very confident, that we are doing a little more than advertising over here. And I am a firm believer that if your content is good, people would spend time with it. And I think I'm not talking as an advertising expert right now. I'm talking as a consumer myself. Uh, because sometimes I also watch vertical ads, I also watch vertical videos, reels, I am a consumer myself. But I just feel like I think as advertising agency and as a business we are in, it's very, very important that we keep doing good stories. I mean, I won't be here today if I didn't do this story, right? Like, so it resonated with everyone, and that is something we try to do a lot with every brand, that let's like put something out there which will stop people, not because it's an ad, but it's a little more than that. So from day one, to your question, we were very confident that like this shouldn't be cut down to a 15-second as a teaser and then lead people to the 5-minute video. We were very confident that let's put the 5-minute video out there, and then we see the response. And if we don't get the response we crave, probably we can change our strategy afterwards. Luckily for us, it worked out, and I think the ROIs are there for everyone to see. I mean, there is no rule to this, Sabir, and for everyone, we a 15-second video could also be a great story, could also be a great piece of content, and we have seen that. in around the world, in UAE, and in advertising. We've seen that. So I'm not saying that 15-second videos can't be good. Yes, they could be very good, but we need the balance of both. I think that is very important, because if you're a filmmaker, you will want to make a 5 minutes film, and you will want to show all your abilities in that one video. And if you're a content creator, you will also would like to, like, do that in 15 seconds. Yes.
Yeah, my response to that would be, there's the first thing I told my students when I saw it. It's like, look at the pacing of the video. There's no rush, right? And
Yeah.
I think what I personally feel is that a 15-second video might be really engrossing, but you'll completely forget about it after 15 seconds. There is no recall value. So I feel that when a story which is 5 minutes long, it's quite long in basically today's standards. Like making a 5 minute video would be scary for most clients, because they say, okay, this is not going to work. That's what most clients would say. But I think this is also important to stand out from the crowd. I think a longer video which has got a real story built into it, has got a nice pacing, lets you stop and basically watch it. I think has its own value, and it has got a greater value than maybe for a 15-second.
And again, thank you so much. And I would just say, I mean, all what I said kept aside, I mean, it's a fun business. I mean, people are always jealous of what we do. So, so just keep having fun and keep doing, what your gut says. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day, Gautam. Thank you, everybody, for joining in for this meeting. And I hope to see you all very soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
Gautam. Thank you.